Hey, Cornucopias family. We're back with episode 4 of the Week of Leaks. So far, we've seen some major bombshells, but this episode is going to crank it up a notch. Secrets are being exposed left and right. Let's see what is about to unravel. Come on with
Community question Cosmolum says, after the land grab, what are the conditions to change your mind and move your NFT to another land? Also, what about the importance of the choice of land?
Okay, so you've got your land deed, that you purchased, and if in the land, when we do the actual land claim, once that deed is attached to that plot, it is permanent.
Yep.
So that's no ands, buts, ifs, nothings. That's just the way it is. It's permanent.
I took that one real quick, just so anybody watching knowing that you've got the land deed and then you attach the land deed to the land plot when we do the land rush, and then that essentially is your NFT then becomes the deed to those coordinates in the game when you sell it again, just like you have a deed for your house.
But one thing I wanted to put in, because David answered that question from a very Web 2 game perspective, because he might not be that much of a crypto NFT trading guy.
Yeah.
But if you want to trade your plot and have a different plot, you would just find somebody who has a plot in an area that you would like and just see if they'll trade you NFTs. You could go on TradingView and trade your NFTs. Nobody's going to there's no way to stop people from trading their NFTs to be in a different location.
That is true.
Hopefully they'll put that kind of a feature in the game so we don't have to use TradingView. But there's nothing to stop you from trading your NFT with someone else. So if you've got a plot near the water and you'd rather have a plot near mine and someone else would rather be near the water, you can just go on TradingView and trade your NFT.
Someone might become the millionaire realtor of Cornucopias. You have the realtor office. You jump in, try to trade
It's me.
All right, go see Jupiter Z. He'll be your man to hook you up.
And that kind of goes off of their trading centers that you see in Toledo and other things like that, and that their involvement in their NFT deal, the trading deal or whatever that they were making, that it kind of goes off of that they'll have some sort of in-game trading, asset trading type of deal. It would only make sense for them to eventually kind of build that all in-house and whatnot.
Yeah, because people are just going to go to TradingView and trade if they want to trade.
Yeah,
I feel like in the past, I had talked to Rob and he had mentioned that there would be that feature functionality in the game, but I can't remember. It's been so long, and I've had so many conversations with Rob that had alpha in them. It all starts to run together.
I mean, you just talk to him. It's like your teacher in school. Like if you didn't want to do any work, you just get them started on something, and they're just going to talk. If you get them talking on something, you might get something out of them. It's really interesting when you get them. Sometimes you're like, hold on, I can't say this. Hold on, there, whatever. They start thinking about it, like the words that they were going to talk about, and they're like, hold on, wait, I can't tell y'all this yet.
Yeah.
Palm Tiger asks, except for racing, where else can I use my vehicles in the future?
Okay, so obviously you've ridden transport from Toledo to Solus, and in the future you'll be able to hop from hub to hub to the even the city eventually. This whole network of transports will take anyone around that doesn't have a vehicle. But look at it like riding the city bus. I can go walk outside right now, get on a city bus that'll take me somewhere. It only goes to select points. Besides racing, absolutely all the vehicles that you see in Cornucopias that a player can own can in the future, you will be able to go down to a private hangar area, get in that vehicle, and fly that around. Okay, so that means you don't have to take public transport. You can take your own vehicle, around the Cornucopias world, and if you got a vehicle with an extra seat, you can take a friend along with you. If you got more seats, you can take more friends. And if you got a lot of cargo room, you could store a bunch of cargo too. So it's this very big utility, I would say, with the vehicles when it comes to what you can do outside of racing with them. That's going to help a little bit. It is possible in the future that you could have a certain type of vehicle, whether it's, and I'm not going to say it's racing, it could be when you're just out in the world, that could have a combat ability. It's very, very possible, but not going to confirm either.
Sure.
So what y'all think about that one? Combat ability, possibly not going to confirm, whatnot kind of deal, flying around.
That was wild. You know what else I also saw once upon a time in one of their updates that they were working on a sport utility vehicle. So when it comes to like the vehicles that are going to be able to be driven around inside the sectors, that just boggles my mind. I don't even know. I have no idea what's up with that, because the reason, there's probably a technological reason, but the lower reason why we can't fly our vehicles in the sectors is that they're way too freaking fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're driving through Solace 3 at 2,000 miles an hour. You're going to crash through every building on the way. So it really doesn't make any sense. So if they're developing vehicles that we're going to be able to use in the sectors, are they going to be much slower vehicles? And what will we be combating with a vehicle?
And will they
each other?
will they constrain them to not go on your lot? Or are you going to have some guy saying, "Get off my lawn"?
Right. Where are you going to park them? Who are you combating with them? Are they for mega bosses that we have to fight? Or can I
And then
destroy your town with it?
Some of it seemed like they were talking about also like the flying in the 1,000 by 1,000 kilometer outside space, and having something go on out there. You know, that could be part of a lore story where we eventually have to get together and combat these quantum issues in the Copiverse that aren't just in our domes. You know, once they like keep building everything and they have all of, you know, those things going, then they can start building out things to actually occur in the Copiverse side. You know, when you're, you know, 5, 6, 7 years down the road, keep evolving the game. You know, Rob says eventually in here that it's a forever game. So like all of the things that you're thinking of, as long as they're still building and they're still revenuing and all the rest of that, just about anything can occur in this game.
Pretty wild. Quantum T-Rex, win.
But does that mean you're going to
Okay.
have to sustain yourself? You're going to have to sustain yourself as you go through it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's something called the needs system. You got to feed yourself. You got to wear the appropriate clothing for the season, all kind of stuff.
Yeah. You gotta have, you can't run forever, and that's what the like energy drinks are for. So you can get the energy drink to be able to keep your stamina up and other things like that. Those are all things that are coming. Also, you can't jump off cliffs. You know, eventually, you know, there'll be damage.
I've had a lot of conversations with Jillian about small animals.
Yeah.
And they're kind of a mixture, you know, whether it's, so if you got birds that are off in the distance, you can do a lot of that stuff with some fakery, like a particle effect that just appears to give some life. Things that are very small that run in the grass, sometimes that can just be sort of a faked, I wouldn't say totally fake, but it's like, oh, did you just see that frog jump? And then we despawn the frog, right? These are not something that we would spend a lot of resources on as far as, well, we got this frog. How's its state machine going to work? How's this frog going to think about walking around this rock in this patch of grass? We're not going to spend a lot of time on that. There's a lot more. You will have these in there, but they won't be as a fully fleshed out experience as like a bear, coyote, you know, foxes, normal size animals.
Yeah. Okay. Will in-game.
So that was one thing there that they talked about, and I like that part because you actually got a little bit of the instance of what actually goes into programming a frog jumping in the grass. Like, you know, the thought pattern that you have to program what it does and other things like that, and how they actually have the ability to just like spin them up and then spin them down. If you're like running, they can say, you know, throw a frog every once in a while in this area or something. But then they actually talked about the other animals in a sense, like they're going to use that thought pattern that they just talked about on the frog in the bigger animals So we might be able to just like stalk the animals and watch them live their life was kind of where I got a little bit out of that. So
Well, they're going to have a hunting game loop as well, so stalking will be a thing.
I don't know. I'm a hunter. I like doing hunting. I think fishing would be pretty cool in the game, and whatnot. Are y'all hunters yourself?
I was raised by an avid expert outdoorsman, so yes.
Good. I
I'm
see
excited. I'm excited
basically
for the hunting. My first experience with a hunting game, I think, was the same as a lot of people's, which was that that game where you pointed the gun at the screen. I played the one on Sega Master before the one on NES, though. You know what I'm talking about? And the aiming duck hunt.
Oh yeah, duck hunt on the NES. Yeah, for sure. That was
my first ever hunting game experience. And me and my dad used to play a fishing game called Black Bass back in the day. And Black Bass was a lot of fun. It was very simple, but it was a lot of fun. Like, fishing games can be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I played
really
fishing
excited
games
for
on the
that.
Sega. I want to say was the first time I played fishing games, kind of deal. So, bionic, you hunter over there?
I am. It's been a couple of years since I've actually done it in person, but I'm a hunter. Since I was young, I used to have a BB gun and lived on a couple acres of land. So I'd set up different toys or different things and just shoot, immovable objects and sometimes movable objects. But little boys do that sometimes, and
For
I
sure.
almost shot my eye out. I actually shot into a piece of wood and it hit me like right here.
Ouch.
So I
Learned about
but
you
no,
know,
I enjoy the games.
learned about them coming back at you. Yeah, I go out and I go hunt whitetail in the East Texas area with my dad and my kids and everything. Each deer season and whatnot. More just for the camaraderie of it, getting out and getting in the woods and cooking things, burning fire, other things like that, teaching kids things and whatnot. But you are there
I hope
trying
you eat
to
what you kill.
you are there trying to take an animal and whatnot, and we're very restricted on what we can take and when we can take them, and we have to have a 13-inch spread on the buck, and you can only take one a season. You can only take does in the first 2 weeks. After that, that's the end of doe season. So it's a pretty restrictive, and East Texas is very, very wooded, so it's nowhere near like an open land or anything else, kind of deal. So it makes it a little more difficult in the game, a little more there for the game. But yes, I do
Yeah,
eat what we take.
We used to stalk
Nice.
out in
Good man.
in the mountains of New Mexico. We used to stalk mule deer. So, and I know my friend hunts elk out there, but he's usually hunting elk just to get the meat so he can stock his fridge and feed his family.
Yeah, it's expensive though to get
The
processed.
only proper reason to kill.
For sure. Keep might trophy hunt, but at least eat what you
At least
harvest.
eat it.
That's why it's called harvesting. It's not called shooting. It's called harvesting.
The first time I knew that there was going to be hunting in the game was last year at the convention. They had this big graphic up, and it had fishing and all these different things on it, but it said hunting, and I had never heard them mention that before. I was really stoked.
Nice.
In-commerce data
This one's
be
cool.
tracked and available to everyone in game. So if you want to know what timber is doing, can I hit a button and see how the markets are performing for timber, for wood?
Yes. Okay. So there's a lot of things that I can say about that. So, let's look at things from an MMO perspective. There's a lot that just kind of rely on a player-only economy. In Cornucopias, as a player, you coming in, you're an addition to a world. You're being brought into a world that's already existing. So there's going to be a lot more actors in the economy than just you and your buddies and everybody else in the community. So, and from an economical standpoint, and we've done a lot of planning on this, you're going to have several different actors in a world economy. A big one being industry. So you might have someone like, you know, the parent company Jet that, you know, owns Bubble Jet. They might actually do deals in steel. They'll buy steel from you. They'll, you know, maybe it's in larger quantities. So this is very much like real life. You'll have merchants playing a role in that economy as well. So you might be going around Solus, like around this rock bin here, and find a little merchant that's selling like sporting goods, things for climbing. You know, who knows what they might be selling there, but they also are an economy actor. You also have retail shops, which is something that a lot of MMOs don't have at all. They have no concept of this sort of retail and bigger company branding. That's an actor. And then you've got the players themselves that participate in a player market. But all of these things are interconnected together, and we will be tracking as much data as we possibly can on this stuff. So to me, it's very, very exciting. It feels like you're part of a rich world economy.
That one there opened up a lot. You know, we talked about the Google of Cornucopias and the device and how it kind of GTA does those things. We've talked about the marketplace and putting them in together, and that only kind of pulls all of that together plus some, where there, you know, you'll have the in-game market and everything, and there eventually could be a play of like playing the in-game market. That would be even like mind-blowier, if that's a word that I just created.
That would be very meta.
You're trading the in-game market for in-game currency and everything else. All right, guys, episode 4 is in the books, but the leaks aren't done yet. If you think they are, come back in 12 hours and I'll prove you wrong, because we have some more. Like, comment, subscribe down there in the comment section. Hit the like button. Thank you.